Now that I've sized the majority of my fonts on my page, I'm going to apply some color to them. Now, if I want a default color besides whatever the browser default, I could just put it right in the body section, right? So in here, I'll put in color. I'm thinking that the default color I want is like a maybe this 666 gray. Alright, that looks good. My H1, this top element over here, I'll probably give that, since it's really small, I'm going to give it I'll let it be black. And actually, since I'm here, I'll change its font weight to normal. And then that should, alright, now that thins it out a little bit. Actually, I may even consider making it a bit, that's a little too small. Maybe I'll leave it at the 0.75 size. Okay. I'm going to do the same thing for my H2. As far as my color goes, this is one of the things I like about Dreamweaver. I mean, I notice you guys see me typing a lot of code. I'm just a quick typer, and I like doing it this way instead of having to like double click on the style menu and all that. But you know, this color picker is great because I could actually visually pick the colors I want instead of just just having to remember all the color or the hex or having to refer to it online or something. Actually, I'm just looking now to optimize my code, since I want my H2 to be this 666 gray anyway, and I've defined that in the body. Well, why bother doing it again? I mean, it's just going to increase the download time of my page, so that's cool. I'm going to change this thing's font weight as well. You're probably thinking, well, why don't you just change the font weight in body? And now that I got it. Well, if you change the font weight in body, it's not actually going to change it. So, or if you change it in HTML. Let me show you. You see how now the font weight is small. First, here, I'll take it out of here and just show you that in fact it doesn't work in body. See, it's bold again, and I could attempt to put it in the HTML tag, right, because everything's wrapped up in the HTML tag, and this is not a consistent approach either, because HTML often won't get rendered by some browsers. So in this situation, we have to add this to both of these places. Now, I guess we have another option. We could do an H1 and H2 declaration and group them together, and in there put the font weight for both of them in that group. Arguably, that's a better approach. I mean, instead of having this extra line of text, you know, because you're always trying to, like, if you could get the same result with less code, then the version with less code is better. I mean, that's just, you know, because that means that it downloads faster, and it's just usually better thought out code. But in this situation, having one extra piece of line instead of grouping them together, it's arguable which one's better. I mean, obviously, if you had all of the tags, you want them to have the font weight normal, it may be worth it at that point to group them together. But for now, I'm fine with keeping those individual like that. So we have everything. Now, we styled so far every element on our page is dealt with right here, with the exception of our links. So let's go ahead and do that. Now, when you're styling links, remember the most important rule, the love-hate link rule. So love being link. Actually, we'll group all these together. Link, then A is going to be, the V is visited, then the H is hover, and the other one, the last one, is active, like as soon as the person clicks on it. And you have to keep them in that order, otherwise you get inconsistencies in the rendering of them. So what I want to do is actually make their font size a bit smaller than the rest of everything. I guess maybe 1.85 EMs. Let's see. That looks good. And actually, now that I'm looking at it, I don't want my dictionary term and my dictionary description to have the same size. It doesn't seem to make sense to me. I definitely want one to be larger than the other. So with that in mind, I'm going to just make that change right now. And instead of font size 1, so I got the dictionary term 1.5, but I want the dictionary description at 1. Or maybe 1.25 for the term. I like that. Okay, that's definitely better. It's all coming together now. Let's see what it renders like. Okay, I like that. I like the sizing. I may do more. I'm going to certainly change some of this coloring and all that, and add some margins and padding. Probably the next thing. Ooh, before I even move on, there is something I need to make sure I do. So I'm going to change the color of my link, of my all my links. I want it away from this gray color. Maybe I'll put it at this kind of green color. Now, there's a cardinal usability rule. And that's, you need to make your visited links a different color than the rest of the links. And this is, it's like figure in your mental web design options, having it the same color is just not an option. So just don't do it, because people really rely on knowing what links they've clicked on. And possibly a lot of times it's nice just to have a different, like maybe a brighter color or something like that. I guess I didn't pick the best one to be a brighter color, but make sure that when you're choosing it, at the very least, your visited link is a different color than the rest of your links. Otherwise, it's just not going to be good. And as you could see here is an example of a visited link versus one that I haven't visited yet.